Good morning. So I left off yesterday up on the Continental Divide, and I didn't record any more video after that. The day went downhill quickly. I reached Monarch Mountain Ski Resort, started hiking down towards Route 50, and just all of a sudden, the storm blew in. Heavy torrential rain, changed to hail, back to rain. Eventually made it down to the road, and there's a visitor center and a snack bar there, snack shop, and it's a great spot. They love the hikers. They have a lot of backpacker food. I didn't need any, but I did need a cup of hot tea to warm up. Then I had a breakfast burrito, even though it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that was great. And all afternoon, more and more hikers were coming in, freezing cold. A lot of other people were making hotel or hostel reservations. And I was going to camp at that RV park, but it was so cold and so wet. I bit the bullet and reserved a hotel room too. So I stayed at the Monarch Mountain Lodge. And then this morning, I hitched back up to Monarch at the crest so that I could get another breakfast burrito and then a frozen one too that I packed out that I'll have tomorrow for breakfast. And then I'm finally getting on the trail. It's like 10:15, which is like evening. My pack weighs a ton because I'm doing a 106-mile food carry. I have 7 days worth of food. I've gone a couple miles, getting back above tree line again. The views aren't as good as they have been the past few days because the sky is hazy. They're still nice, but it's just not crystal clear like it has been the past few days. When I stayed at Monarch Mountain Lodge last night, I got a chance to look at myself in the mirror for the first time in a long time. I don't have any weight to lose. I'm skinny as a rail, and I'm eating all the time, but I think I've lost weight. And then I have this growth on my face. I should have bought a razor and shaved it off. I retired a couple of years ago, and now that I don't go into work every day, I only shave a couple times a week. And if I go, 4 or 5 days without shaving, my wife Judy calls that my homeless old man look, which shames me into shaving. But now it's been 20 days without shaving. At this point, I just might as well let it grow for the whole 30 days or 35 days. I can hear those dirt bikes, and I can see them up there. I swear they're not allowed on the Colorado Trail. Mountain bikes are. It's the first time I've seen people on dirt bikes. I think I've gone about 13 miles. And I shouldn't even say this, but there hasn't been a hint of rain at all. No thunder, no rain. There have been a lot of clouds. Looking off to my right, which is the west, I see a lot of rain over there. All right, I knew I shouldn't have said that. Not 2 minutes after I recorded that, it started hailing on me. It's still hailing. I almost think I'd rather have the hail than the rain. You don't get as wet. And then I just heard a big thunderbolt too. You can't go a day out here without getting rain. It's unbelievable. So I found a campsite. I went about 16.3 miles today. So I didn't really intend to go that far, and I didn't intend to come up this high, but I was getting desperate to find a site because the sky was threatening again. It had stopped raining, and I kept on walking. I saw this site right off the trail. It's not perfect. It's slanted a little bit. It started to rain as soon as I started to put up my tent. I got it up, got everything inside. Everything's wet in here, but it'll do for the night. I have this nice area out here where I'll eat dinner and have a very nice view. Pretty cool spot. Could be a lot worse. Good morning. Day 20. I'm a couple miles into the trail, and the trail's kind of awful in here, to be honest. Just rocks everywhere. The footing is terrible. You gotta be careful. After I recorded that video last night, the winds picked up around where I was camping. Before that, it was really calm, but the winds picked up, unbelievable. And I looked around and I saw that there were some widowmakers around where I was camping. Made me kind of nervous every time those wind gusts blew. Eventually, in the middle of the night, the winds died down. And I think it rained a little. Either I dreamed it or it rained. Here's one of the first views of the day. It's nice, but it is hazy. It's not as dramatic as some of those sections further north. So I'm into the famous cow section. And these guys, they're right on the trail. I'm giving them a wide berth. I'd rather risk getting Rocky Mountain spotted fever from ticks in here than deal with them. I mean, I don't think cows are known to be dangerous, but I don't want to mess around with them. They're the reason that the water sources are questionable in this segment too. So I brought some chemical tablets. So I'll filter the water and I'll treat it. That's okay, you can stay right there. You guys can all stay right over there. Stay there and enjoy the grass. I'm just gonna walk right on by, all right? I don't like the way that one's looking over here. Go ahead, just continue with the others. I'm not gonna bother you. Yeah, I hear you. All right, good. So I made it to my tent site. I'm at the Baldy Lake Trail Junction. There wasn't much to show on the trail today. There weren't really any views. The trail was covered in rocks. It made for really tough footing. I did a little over 16 miles. I'm cooking dinner now. I'm going to have ramen noodles with peanut sauce. I'm just going to eat this, go to bed, hope to get a good night's sleep, and get after it tomorrow. Maybe there'll be more scenery, but these the comments in Far Out for these segments here are not very complimentary. So it's kind of a segment that you just endure and get through between the beautiful areas to the north and the beautiful areas to the south. Good morning. Day 21 of my hike. So I'm walking through this nice meadow now. A really peaceful, beautiful morning. Hopefully the trail's a little better than yesterday. We'll see. So here's what the trail conditions are like today. Again, just rocks everywhere. It makes it really tedious hiking. You have to really watch where you step and your feet get twisted all the time. Hello again. It's about 12 o'clock. I haven't done as many miles as I would have liked because I stopped and took a break and ran into some interesting trail characters. We had some fun conversations. Two kids who are 22 years old, they're from Illinois. And then one of them thinks he's going to bail from Creed. And I think the biggest thing driving that is they ran out of cigarettes. They didn't ration their cigarettes properly. Not too many hikers smoke. And then a guy on a bike who's aiming to do the whole trail in 12 days, which is pretty fast. And then a hiker named Bird Food who's doing 30-mile days. So I felt quite inadequate when I was talking to him. Really nice guy, though. In the past, I mentioned some of my concerns and anxiety about this trail. And one of them is illness or injury. Yesterday afternoon on all those rocks, I did something, I don't know what, to my left foot. I thought it was shin splint, but I had service back there where I took a rest and I Googled it. I played amateur doctor we all like to do these days. It's not a shin splint, it's in the ankle. It could be a stress fracture, but I hope not. I have like 70 miles still to Lake City, a little less than that, 65 maybe. It's a long way, and I'm hoping they have a place I can buy a brace. In the meantime, I did the only thing I could do, which is I took an ibuprofen when I was up there taking that break, and I can't believe how much better it feels. So I'm going to continue to medicate that way, even though I know that doesn't treat it. It just helps mask the pain. But I have a lot of ibuprofen because I allocated 2 or 3 per day and I've hardly used any. So I'm going to continue to use that and hope for the best. I also meant to mention I got Trail Magic again. It was fantastic. There was a big cooler with a note on a table saying, Trail Magic, leftover taco ingredients from last night, help yourself. And you open the cooler and it had flour tortillas, black beans and corn and some other stuff, onions, chopped up regular onions, green onions, jalapenos. So that was great. Made for an excellent lunch. I made 2 soft tacos with all those ingredients. It was great. It's almost 9 o'clock and I'm on segment 18, and this is so different from every other part of the trail so far. It's been a really cruisy walk all morning, which is great. And it's so exposed. I wouldn't want to do this in the afternoon sun, but it's nice now when the temperatures are still pretty cool. I think it's kind of a beautiful walk. Some parts of it reminded me a lot of Vermont. Not so much the part I'm in right now, but back a couple miles with the rolling green hills. Not sure how long this goes on for, but I'll take it. Gone 15 and a half miles. Almost all of it has been completely exposed. I know I said I liked it in the last video. I did at first. And the sun just beats down. Right now there are some clouds, so it's not too bad. People talk about the burn zone in segment 2, and that is exposed and hot. This segment 18 makes the burn zone in segment 2 look like child's play. It's nothing. This is like 15 miles exposed, dry, hot terrain. There's a few sections where you hit woods, but not very many. And I'm starting to hit more woods now, so pretty happy about that. All right, so I'm camped at mile 329. I don't love the campsites here, but Colorado Trail Foundation is here. And they're taking groups out hiking, and they camp out here, and they cook food for their clients in those tents there. But check this out. So first they just had these bags of veggies, celery, carrots, green peppers. I took a bunch of those, but then they came over and asked me if I wanted some leftover chicken, and there was only one answer to that. So I got this big container of chicken, sriracha sauce, broccoli, veggies. It's awesome. That's what I call trail magic. Good morning. My left ankle was just killing me by the time I got into camp last night. I did over 23 miles, and I think I overdid it. I could hardly walk into camp. And like I mentioned, I didn't love those campsites there, but the Colorado Trail Foundation was there, and I got that great trail magic. So it actually worked out okay. Some idiot pulled up in a pickup truck around midnight. Was making all kinds of noise. Almost backed into my tent. And they got up at 4 in the morning, and they were making all kinds of noise for another hour or two, packing up their stuff. I don't know what they were doing. So it wasn't the best night of sleep, but I actually wasn't even sure if I'd be able to walk today because my ankle was so bad last night. But after 12 hours of rest, it felt pretty good when I got up. It kind of hurts a little now. I'm going to take some ibuprofen and see how well it goes. But I'm not going 23 miles today, and I've given up on the idea of getting into Twin Lakes by Saturday, tomorrow. It also poured rain last night. Not long after I did that video last night, it was raining a little then, but then it just poured rain. And not just for a short while like some of the other rainstorms, it poured for hours. Climbing up towards San Luis Peak. The trail does not go over San Luis Peak. It goes up to the saddle just below. And then down the other side. I think I can see the saddle up ahead. And also the peak. It's beautiful. We're also getting some really nice views, like back on the northern sections of the trail. And the sky is also very clear today. It's been hazy the past few days, but it's much better right now. So getting some really nice views. San Luis Pass. Actually, I don't know if that's the name of it. They just call it the saddle below San Luis Peak, which is right up there. And I'm debating whether to attempt that climb now. These views from San Luis Pass are awesome. Getting back into the real Colorado Trail with the mountainous terrain. I like it. So I'm still up on San Luis Pass. Had cell service here for the first time in 2 days. So I did some stuff. And I made a decision not to go up to San Luis Peak. It's disappointing. I'm disappointed in myself. But what are you going to do? So here's why I'm not going to do San Luis Peak. It's no longer sunny. Look at all the clouds here. And if I swing around to the south, which is where the wind's coming from, it looks terrible. It's not raining, but I have heard thunder. I'm just not going to take any chances and go up there. It would take me 2 hours or close to it to get up there and back. And so I'm going to have to skip San Luis Peak and be happy with doing just the 114er Mount Elbert. I'm headed down. The peak's right up there. I definitely think it was the right decision not to climb it. It looks awful out there. The thunder is getting more and more frequent. I don't even like where I am right now. I don't know how far I have to walk to get below tree line. It looks like a long way though, because I can see the trail a long way in the distance, and it's all above tree line. Well, that was an adventure. Right after I did that video, it started raining. Huge thunderbolts. It was raining heavily. Changed to hail. Back to rain. I was trying to set the record for running down from San Luis Pass with a bad ankle. I think I said it. But now, 45 minutes later, it's bright blue sky. I've got a long series of high points, 12,000 feet high points to get across. So I'm going to try to make some good time. I'm approaching the third high point of the day. All of these were over 12,000 feet. And it's spectacular. It is beautiful. I am exhausted. There's one more high point, but I don't think I'll go over that today. I think I'm gonna head down. I'm going down about 500 feet to a water source, and I'm gonna look for a place to camp around there. All right, end of the day. I found a campsite. It's not the best ground, but it's good enough. It's a little rocky, but it'll work. And then looking out here, check this out. I'll pan around here. I don't usually care too much about a view where my campsite is. I'd rather have protection from trees than have a view, but that's a pretty nice view. I'm not sure if I'm gonna eat one dinner or two tonight. I don't know, we'll see. Good morning. Day 24. I started hiking about half hour ago, a little after 6 o'clock, and I'm up to the first high point of the day. I'm on segment 21, and there are 8 separate high points along. You climb up to the ridge, go back down, up, back down. There are 8 separate high points, and I climbed 5 of them yesterday. This is the 6th, so I have 2 more. And then there's a big descent to Spring Creek Pass, where I'm going to either hitch or wait for the shuttle into Lake City. And the free shuttle leaves the pass at about 12:30, 12:45. If I get there much earlier than that, maybe I'll try to hitch. And so, yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to make it to Lake City on Saturday. It looks like that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm looking forward to getting there, getting some rest, getting some food, resupplying, and checking out the big city. All right, I'm approaching the 8th and last high point of this segment 21. Hallelujah. It's downhill from here to Spring Creek Pass. I think it's a big downhill. I'm not sure how many feet. A lot. But at least it's downhill. My ankle felt good this morning when I got up, but it doesn't feel good anymore. And it hurts more going downhill. But let's start. Okay, I'm on the descent to Spring Creek Pass. It's long. It's a 7-mile descent. And I thought it was going to be just a long, gradual descent, but that's not really what it is. There's a short descent, and then you get to Snow Mesa, which I'm walking on now. And even though I've walked 4 out of those 7 miles, I'm still at 12,500 feet. And it doesn't start going down for another about 1.5 miles. But I got to this point, and look what appears on the horizon now. Those are the San Juan Mountains, which most people agree is the best part of the Colorado Trail. And there they are, San Juan Mountains. All right, I've reached the edge of Snow Mesa. So now I have the rest of the descent. I think it's about 2 miles and 1,400 feet. So I'm going to start that descent now to Spring Creek Pass. And here's the campground that I'm staying at. Lots of other Colorado Trail hikers. It's a nice place. And here's the area where all the hikers camp. So you can basically pitch your tent anywhere you want out here. My tent is right over here. Pretty good spot. So I'm in Lake City on my 0 day, and I'm riding a bike that the campground owns and lets campers borrow, which is great. It's much less impact on the ankle. I can get around quickly, so I'm going to head to the grocery store. I just left the hiker center. Got my ankle taped up by Tiga, Dr. Tiga, and I'm going to go down to the grocery store to resupply and hopefully buy some KT tape because I'll need to replace this tape that he put on. So I ended up being like the sports medicine person. Here's the Lake City Hiker Center. Great place. And over there in the light green shirt is Tiga. I'm calling him Dr. Tiga because he taped up my ankle and it feels so much better. And he's convinced it's not a stress fracture. He thinks it's a tendon problem. So I'm hoping he's right. So I'm riding down Gunnison Ave now. This is a rickety old bike, but you know what? It's good enough for me. Everything's pretty close. It's about a half a mile from the hiker center to the grocery store. Not a cloud in the sky. I feel like I should be hiking. It's okay. Taking a 0 day is good. Here's the fly fishing shop. The population here is something like 400. And most of the people I've spoken to are summer residents only. A lot of Texas people. People live in Texas, but they come up here for the summer because it's so much cooler. And here's the grocery store. The country store, that's what they call it. I'm going to head over there now. See what they have for resupply. I heard it's pretty good. And here's my resupply. I already had this much food left over. I had packed 7 days worth of food and I got here in 5.5 days, so I have some food left over. And this is the food I bought at the grocery store to supplement that. And most importantly of all, I got some KT tape, which I will use to tape my ankle once the tape that Tiga put on comes off. And here's how he tapes my ankle. And I was very thankful to him for doing that. He knew what he was doing. And I already feel a lot more support. It gives me a little more confidence. So all I have to do now is walk. That's the easy part, isn't it? The walking? We'll see. All right, so Magic and I are walking over to the hiker center.
With some pancakes, bro.
The theme is breakfast tonight. We're looking forward to that.
What's better than breakfast food?
Nothing at any time of day. So I met Magic early on the trail. And you've hiked, what, half the Colorado Trail before?
Yeah, half of it.
And you've hiked all of the AT.
All the AT, yeah.
So his hiking resume is much more impressive than my own. But we've had a good time. I saw you like the first couple of days at the beginning and then not for another like 8 days.
Yeah, we had the same pace, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
I thought I was fast.
I think you're going to beat me for the rest of the trail.
Nah, we'll probably show up in, tell you ride in 3 days? Thursday?
Maybe. That'd be good.
You leaving tomorrow?
I'm leaving tomorrow. You'll be ahead of me.
I'll be there Thursday.
Maybe I'll catch up, maybe not.
I got friends from Durango coming to hike with me. So maybe some friends. Yeah.
Cool.
Hang out at Monarch Pass. Oh, here we go. It's on. I hope they have syrup.
I hope they have
not maple syrup. I want real syrup.
Oh, real syrup.
I want the high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, no. I want the maple syrup.
I want the fake shit.
I want Vermont maple syrup. There's nothing like Vermont maple syrup. So here's the hiker center, and all the hikers are here eating.
That's what it's all about, people.
It is.
Right here. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Good. Yeah, everyone that pops up here. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Are those silhouettes? Yeah.